What's up guys, my name is Brandon, you guys can call me Swifterrs, and today I'm very excited to be bringing you guys episode 2 of Zombie Weapon Comparison. This here is the series where we compare two weapons in Call of Duty Zombies against one another in order to figure out which one's best. In today's episode, we're going to be comparing the Wind Staff and the Thunder Gun, and this was suggested by a subscriber of mine known as Justin Wheeler, so if you guys would like to be featured in the next one, be sure to comment two weapons down below, and I may just use those weapons. Now before we do get started, a huge shout out goes to Brandy B. They commented Notification Squad on my last video, and if you guys would like to be featured in the next one, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Once you guys have done all of that, be sure to comment Notification Squad and I just might give you a shout out. So guys, with all of that being said, let's get started with today's zombie weapon comparison of the Thunder Gun and the Wind Staff. So to start things off, we're going to be taking a look at the Wind Staff. Now the Wind Staff shoots a blast of wind when fired, very similar to the Thunder Gun, and it will instantly kill zombies at point blank range up until round 23, and it'll actually knock back any zombies further away. However, the range is actually not as far as a Thunder Gun, so you do need to be relatively close to the zombies in order to kill them. Now the Wind Staff is obviously unobtainable from the mystery box, which means you need to build it, and you definitely need to go on a little bit of a quest to not only build the original version of the staff, but to also upgrade it. So that may be a little bit of a deterring factor for some people to choose the Wind Staff, and really any other staff on Origins, just because if you're not familiar with the map, if you're not familiar with the upgrade process, or even the crafting process for the original version of the staff, it may be a little bit difficult to use, and that may be the reason why the Thunder Gun could potentially have the upper hand on the Wind Staff. But in regard to the damage, as I previously said, a close range direct hit will always be an instant kill on the zombies up until round 23, but a mid to long range hit will momentarily stun the zombies. Now that close range direct hit deals 1000% damage on the zombies, while the mid to long range hit deals 15%. Now on to a little bit more statistics of what's included with the Wind Staff. The maximum range is up to 100 feet and the maximum ammunition is 3 in the chamber with 40 in reserve for an unupgraded staff, but once you upgrade the Wind Staff into the Boreas Fury, you have 6 shots in the chamber with 60 in reserve. Now even though it's a little bit of a process to upgrade and honestly even obtain the Wind Staff, the upgraded version of the Wind Staff known as Boreas Fury has a ton of super awesome features that definitely give it the upper hand to the Thunder Gun. So when upgrading the Wind Staff, you obviously get a more powerful and a more wide effect of a blast. The player who obtains the Wind Staff can also hold down the firing button in order to charge up the Wind Staff at the cost of a little bit more ammo per charged shot, but when the charge is released, the Wind Staff fires a giant blast of wind and then expands rapidly to form a tornado, affecting any zombies that are in the vicinity of that tornado, instantly killing them. Now in addition to the upgraded or the charged shot, the upgraded Wind Staff actually has a melee attack that involves swiping with the spikes on the head of the staff to kill the zombies, and this attack is actually a one-hit kill up until round 16, and this could be super helpful when it comes to completing steps for the Origins Easter egg. Now another really cool thing about the Wind Staff is after upgrading it, it also gains a secondary attachment called Sekhmet's Vigor, which when activated by pressing left on the D-pad, it'll cause the player to flip the staff around and use the bottom end of it, and this can be used to revive a downed player by shooting them directly. This is super awesome because if you're unable to get to a player because they're surrounded by zombies or there's zombies running near them, you can easily pull out Sekhmet's Vigor and shoot them with it, and it'll automatically revive a downed teammate. Now overall, the Wind Staff is definitely a good weapon. At the same time, there are some things that people may dislike about it. Obviously, you have to go on a little bit of a hunt in order to build and upgrade the Wind Staff, so that could potentially be a deterring factor for some beginner or novice players in the zombies community who may be a little bit unfamiliar with Origins, and they may need to look at tutorials every single time they play this map in order to figure out how to build and upgrade the Wind Staff, and that's absolutely alright. But in regard to the Thunder Gun, the Wind Staff is definitely a little bit harder to obtain and even upgrade. So moving on to the Thunder Gun, this is a classic wonder weapon in Call of Duty Zombies. A lot of people who aren't familiar with the game associate the Thunder Gun with zombies because they know it is a powerful wonder weapon, But getting into the statistics of the Thunder Gun actually does an infinite amount of damage to the zombies from a close range direct hit. At the same time, the zombies from mid to long range actually get 0 damage, and I was surprised to learn this. So as I said, a close range direct hit will always be an instant kill on the zombies, but from mid to long range, the zombies will only be thrown back and they will not receive any damage. Now in regard to the wind staff appears to be a little bit more effective against the mid to long range zombies because, as I said, from those mid to long ranges, the Thunder Gun actually deals 0% damage to the zombies, whereas the wind staff deals 15% to those zombies. At the same time, the wind staff, you need to go on a quest to actually build and upgrade it, whereas the Thunder Gun is easily obtainable from the mystery box. It's only based on a random number generation, and once you eventually get it from the mystery box, you're able to upgrade it extremely easy by going to the Pack-a-Punch machine. Now, to include a little bit more statistics about the Thunder Gun, the starting ammunition is only 2 bullets in the chamber with 12 in the reserve, but a Pack-a-Punched or an upgraded version of the Thunder Gun known as the Zeus Cannon, you have 4 bullets in the chamber with 24 bullets in reserve. So in regard to the ammo count, the wind staff definitely has the upper hand. There's a lot more ammo in the wind staff than the Thunder Gun, but overall you do need to use your ammunition sparingly with either of these weapons. Now the reload time for the Thunder Gun is 2 seconds, but obviously this will decrease if you have speed cola. The recoil on the Thunder Gun is extremely low like the wind staff, and the mobility rate is extremely high. So to go back and speak on matters of the reload time, personally I've realized that the Thunder Gun reloads a lot quicker than the wind staff. If you're playing with the wind staff, it always seems like the wind staff is the slowest staff or the slowest one to reload out of all of the other staffs on Origins. I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed this, but even with Speed Cola, the wind staff appears to reload extremely slow, and that is a huge downside to it, especially if you're about to be trapped by zombies and you need to reload your weapon. Now another thing about the Thunder Gun that people may like a little bit more than the wind staff has nothing to do with statistics, it has nothing to do with the damage or the ammo count. It's something that makes it a little bit more appealing, and that's the fact that the wind staff is only obtainable in one map. The Thunder Gun can be obtained in multiple maps. You can get it in Kino der Toten, you can get it in Ascension, you can get it in Revelations, and this could be extremely appealing to a lot of people. People really enjoy using certain wonder weapons, and to have it in multiple maps could be a huge upper hand to one particular weapon. On the other hand, the wind staff is only obtainable on Origins, and this can also be seen as a beneficial thing because people may like this wonder weapon so much that they love saving it for one particular map, and getting that wonder gun on that particular map is so satisfying and so cool that it really adds to the aura and it really adds to the completeness of what that map is. Overall, the wind staff and the Thunder Gun are extremely similar, and they're both very good weapons. In regard to the wind staff, it's a little bit more difficult to obtain and upgrade when compared to the Thunder Gun, considering the Thunder Gun is easily obtainable from the mystery box and you can easily upgrade it by going to the Pack-a-Punch machine. But the ammo count on the wind staff is a lot higher than the Thunder Gun, but you do need to be careful in both of those weapons to use your ammo sparingly. Now the Thunder Gun appears to deal a little bit less damage to mid to long range zombies by only knocking them back, whereas the wind staff actually deals 15% damage to the zombies. Now where the wind staff has the upper hand on the Thunder Gun is once it's upgraded. You not only have the original wind staff, but you also have a charged shot, you have a melee attack, and you have Sekhmet's Vigor, the revive tool. There are 3 additions to the unupgraded wind staff that you get once you upgrade it. The Thunder Gun just deals more damage and the range is a little bit more effective, so that's where the wind staff has the upper hand. At the same time, the Thunder Gun, in my opinion, reloads a lot quicker, and it appears to be a lot more mobile than the wind staff. The wind staff just seems a little bit big, it makes your character run a little bit slower, and it takes a little bit longer to reload. So overall, my personal preference leads me to choose the Thunder Gun over the wind staff. I personally prefer using the Thunder Gun more than the wind staff for a couple of reasons. The first one being, the Thunder Gun appears to reload a lot quicker than the wind staff. The wind staff is arguably one of the worst staffs on Origins. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Origins, but I would personally never use the wind staff if I was playing with 4 players. I always prefer to use other ultimate staffs over the wind staff, and I just don't like using it. It's a good weapon, absolutely, but the thunder gun definitely has the upper hand to it. So guys, let me know in the comment section below which weapon you guys prefer. Do you guys like the thunder gun, or do you guys like the wind staff more than the other? Also, let me know in the comment section below 2 weapons that you guys would like me to compare in the next one, and I'll be sure to take a look and consider doing them for the next episode of Zombie Weapon Comparison. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. With all of that being said, I'll be sure to catch you guys later.